Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the show. Welcome to your Bitcoin show. Today is the 28th of January, 2021. Glad to have you guys here. I'm going to tell you, my computer, it busted on me a few weeks ago, and I've been producing these videos using an old Pentium computer. It's slow for video production. That this computer, I sent away for the parts, Newegg, and to fix this computer. I got a new motherboard, I got a new case. There's nothing wrong with the processor, so I was able to use my old processor. I had a new hard drive. So it's basically like a new computer, but it's not really, I had to, yesterday I was working all day long getting it up and running. Had to reinstall Windows, install all these programs that I used to edit videos and everything else, get everything up and running and working. It took all day. But today I'm up and running. I'm on the new computer. I got my processor, which is a Ryzen 1600, 6 cores. It's good for video processing, video editing. It didn't cost me an arm and a leg to do it this way. I got the computer back running and all on new parts. A new SSD hard drive, which helps to speed things up quite a bit. Anyway, let's get started. Where's my charts here? Let's get the charts open right here and take a look at what's going on in Bitcoin news. A crypto user, it says, builds a mining rig in the back of his BMW hybrid car with 6 graphics cards. I think that's pretty interesting, Looks like it's a nice car, too. White car. Gull wing doors. Six graphics cards in the back. What's he using for power, though? He must have an extension cord running to it. Or could he run a hybrid car, an electric car? Could he run it out his mining rig off of the engine? Maybe he runs it off the engine. That's interesting. Anyway, S&P Global here says cryptocurrencies have become mainstream and are here to stay. Bitcoin is reminiscent of the gold rush. Bitcoin is so much like gold, it's unreal. And, whoever put Bitcoin together originally to begin with, they knew, that it was going to be like gold, because that's what they tried to do, is they tried to make Bitcoin like gold. You actually have to mine it from the internet. And, there's an awful lot to Bitcoin mining. An awful lot more than people realize. When you're using these mining machines, getting in so that you can get the most Bitcoin out of those, or productivity out of those machines, and you have to constantly keep your eye on those machines to make sure that they don't fall off the network. They have to be rebooted or whatever. And if you got multiple miners, you have to constantly be babying them along and checking them, almost like real mining machines, and they produce a lot of heat. An awful lot of heat comes off of Bitcoin mining machines. It takes an awful lot of electricity. Great way to heat your house. And it actually, the surprising thing about Bitcoin mining, even today, even though you're not going to make a whole lot of money probably off of it. You are going to get some Bitcoin, but it makes a great little hobby. It's really enjoyable to actually see yourself get some Bitcoin, even if it's only even if you're only making like 300 Satoshis a day or whatever, and maybe the mining cost is not actually equal to the amount of Bitcoin you're getting. There's a little bit of a disparity there. It's still fun to do in your house as a hobby. You want to get maybe an old mining machine and set it up and everything in your house, and put it someplace where the warmth will come up through your house, especially right now in the wintertime. It's really fun. It's fun to do. Especially when you actually see yourself get some Bitcoin. And if you save those Bitcoin, in the future, your ROI might become on the positive, because what'll happen is Bitcoin will catch up. Right now, it might be a losing proposition as far as ROI is concerned. Like, if you buy an old mining machine and stuff, you set it up in your house and everything, you might actually lose money I mean, the Bitcoin might cost you more than the electricity, but you got to understand, your house is going to feel warmer, but you got to be awful careful when you're doing it to make sure you're not going to have any fire or anything. You got to think about that, because those mining machines get really hot. You got to be careful where you put them. You got to wire them correctly, and everything. You got to make sure that you're doing it safely so that you don't cause yourself to have a house fire or something. But if you do it safely and you read a little bit how to do it properly and everything, it takes a little bit of research and everything. But the average guy at home can get into mining. You can do it at home. There's no law saying you can't mine Bitcoin at home or any of these other cryptocurrencies. And it's a lot of fun. Anyway, it makes a great hobby in these times when you're stuck at home a lot. Cashing out a Bitcoin. Now, there's a YouTuber here, and I found this interesting right here, this article. I'm going to go to it. He used these ATMs, and he went to YouTube's, he's a YouTuber, and he went to these ATMs, and he sold his Bitcoin, and he got $16,000 worth of cash from these ATM machines. Evidently, he's showing a picture of him there with a big stash full of $20 bills. It says, on January 23rd, the popular YouTuber, Bax Fap something, I can't pronounce it, published a video of himself withdrawing $16,000 in cash from Bitcoin ATMs. The video shows how it took multiple Bitcoin ATMs to complete the purchase process. But at the end of the 17-minute film, he withdrew $16,000 by selling Bitcoin to the automated teller machines. And he got all that cash. That was a bad move. I know he might make a lot of money on the video and everything because a lot of people might watch it and everything. But I think it was a bad move because now he doesn't have his Bitcoin. He's got all that cash. And the government is probably going to come after him for a cut. They're probably going to want some sort of tax on him. They're probably going to take half of it. Right off the get-go, he's probably going to have to pay taxes on all that. Where if he had left it as Bitcoin, he wouldn't have made any money. They consider, once you sell your Bitcoin, they consider, hey, you've just come into our web, our net, or whatever, and now we want our cut of your profit, of your windfall. They want it, If it's in Bitcoin, it wouldn't have been considered a windfall. It'd be like when you're holding gold, you're holding gold, you haven't made any profit. You just have it, It's like maybe you got a gold watch, I mean, or a gold ring on your finger, It's just sitting there. It hasn't made you a profit. As soon as you go out and sell that gold ring, and then they want their cut, and that's the thing, with all of this. They're creating a system now at this point where people out there are trapped within their monetary system. And if you're gonna, it's like what it is you got all these people in one hand, they're giving money out to them freely. Okay, here's your, they're gonna have UBI soon. Here's your UBI check. Here's this. Here's that. And they're giving them money on one hand. And these people aren't working. The people out there who are working and are trying to save and everything else, they're taken from them through taxation. They're going to up taxes to try to pay for all of this. So they're taken from the productivity, any productivity that's out there, and then they're supporting the non-productive. Well, what's this leading to ultimately in the end is a completely non-productive world. That's going to raise the price of any goods and services out there because there's only goods and services. If you're in business, you're in either one or the other, goods or a service. And when goods and services get in short supply, of course, there's a monopoly there on the price. Price goes up, So ultimately, in the end, we're heading toward a world where goods and services are going to be in short supply, and there's going to be plenty of people out there on the dole. In other words, getting the money on the receiving end of the government, And so right now, which end is it best to be on? on the end where you're working your ass off. Because I'm going to tell you, this kid, well, maybe he's not a kid, he's an adult, but he's probably worked hard to get those Bitcoin, to get that $16,000 worth of Bitcoin. Now he's cashed it out and he's got the cash. They're going to take half of it. They're going to take half of his work, probably, he should have left it as Bitcoin, just forgot about it, just put it in the back of his mind, because next year that Bitcoin might be worth $32,000 or even $64,000. What's he going to do with all that stupid big wad of cash anyway? He's going to go out and fritter it away. He's going to end up with nothing. He won't have his Bitcoin. He won't have his cash, either one. If he just left his Bitcoin in there, it probably would have been worth $64,000 this same time next year. Doesn't make any sense. But then again, with our youth today, a whole lot of things they do don't make any sense, But anyway, what else we got here? Let's take a look at more of the news and cryptocurrencies. This massive GameStop thing. The short squeeze is going on with GameStop. It says right here, massive GameStop short squeeze highlights the fragility of today's financial system. Oh boy, does it ever. Our financial system right now is on the edge, guys. Quite seriously. What's happened is they've over-leveraged the system to the point where now imbalances are starting to pop up within the financial system. And everybody is chasing yield. And there's no yield to be had out there. And this is why they're looking for things like GameStop and things that can become the new Bitcoin. Anything that's going to get them some yield. But, when all this is over, they're going to come back to cryptocurrencies, because there's where a lot of yield's going to be had over the next couple years. Cryptocurrencies just beginning to start to come into its own. And for crying out loud, guys, if you've got some, if you've been fortunate enough to be able to put a little bit away for yourself, hang on to it. Because it's going to go through a few ups and downs. But overall, the overall picture is very bright as the financial system slowly readjusts and starts to move more and more into utilizing these cryptocurrencies as a means of savings. Not just a means of savings, but a lot of these cryptocurrencies are going to provide a service of actually being a currency. Thank you guys for listening to my show. Like and subscribe. And ring that little bell icon. I need new subscribers. And click on the subscribe button. And we'll catch you guys in the very next episode. Bye-bye.